sounds like a good point here. The thing with the sovereign citizens, the Amorites, who would like to say they want to go back to the Republic, problem with them is they like the United States, the Constitution. That Constitution came from the Iroquois, so that's not even their Constitution. Number one. Number two, when they talk about the 13 colonies, they're talking about the original 13 companies that they used to form the United States of America, which became incorporated under the Legislative Act of DC in 1871. The next thing is the sovereign citizens, whether they're black or Amorite, keep forgetting something. The Constitution is a dead document. This is declared by the U.S. Supreme Court. Another thing is whether they're in the South and they want to use the Dixie flag, that Dixie flag goes back to ancient Egypt. Those colors are ancient Egypt. Over in the Atlantic and where you're standing on, both of these are Egypt, because that's what President Abraham Lincoln said. He coined the phrase, America is the Egypt of the West. And since they found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon, they now put the military there to keep anybody from going in there, because that will change history. See, when they do stuff to that magnitude where they put military around a site or a place that was barren and then they've discovered something, it's because that information comes out, that changes the whole paradigm. So the sovereign citizens, sovereign is going back to England. Again, they keep tying back into common law, which is England. What does that have to do with us who are the original people on the planet? Nothing, does it?
No.
So they have a problem. A lot of these so-called sovereign citizens, they have a problem because aside from being classified as a domestic terrorist, they're ignoring what was the original name of the land that they are on. They always talk about, oh, you know that, but they don't talk about that, because then it would imply that they are what? Aliens, and they are in the same category as the illegal aliens that the U.S. government is taking care of and giving them EBT cards and cash cards and putting them up in hotels for free with no ID. Now that's to the point where they're saying, okay, you don't have to have an ID. You could still vote in the election. You don't need ID, which is contrary to the Constitution, but it doesn't matter because it's what? A dead document. So these Moors, doesn't matter if they do UCC. The problem is their pre-existing contract has not been changed. The Numinate record hasn't been changed. And because it hasn't been changed, guess what that means? They are still committing fraud, because black has what? No standing at law. Much appreciation to Barack Obama for saying that in the Tom Joyner Morning Show. We appreciate that so infinitely. Go ahead.
All right. Being that the Constitution is a dead document and a lot of these Supreme Courts are established off the Constitution, don't that make a lot of these Supreme Courts dead too?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, who's going to enforce it?
It's going to have to be you.
Well, I've already done that because they're exported. They're already under England. What I'm saying is that
we as a people got to do it. I mean, we as a whole got to do it. We're gonna have to be the ones that become
white. For those that are white, if you ain't white, they can't do this. We had one that just left At-sik-hata because it got too much for him, because he had to make a decision between his brother and a state and federal case and At-sik-hata nation. So he chose his brother. So this is what Yahshua, who they call Jesus, said, let the dead bury the dead. And this is what I tell people when they come on the webinar. This is not a social club. This isn't a shield to hide behind. This is serious business. And we're just talking about Amorites. I'm not even talking about these shape-shifting reptilians, which people are going to start seeing more and more broad daylight. because I put the challenge out to them. I said, well, let me see how bad y'all. Let's walk the street. Let's see some scales and tails. And because if they can't even do that, I question how powerful they are. Their power has to be questioned, because you got to they have to come to you in a human form, because they know if they came to you in their true form, number one, you're going to reject them. Two, you're going to fight. And three, which is most deadly to them, you're going to reach inside and you are going to turn on the God particle that's already within you, that's dormant. And that's it. It's going to be Battle of the Titans. They don't want that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So let me continue on. I just wanted to let me continue on here.